Thursday, August 13th, 2026. And I would ask you all to stand with me for the pledge. Mike, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, sir. Seated. The first item on our agenda, or second I should say, after the pledge, is a proclamation this evening in memoriam of a past village employee. His name was James or Jim Ciccarelli. And I have his wife, Dorothea, here this evening. And Dorothea, if you would come up, please, to the podium. We have a proclamation that I would like to present to you. In memoriam, James Jim Ciccarelli. Whereas James Jim Ciccarelli faithfully served the village of Webster from 2002 to 2010, bringing dedication, hard work, and unwavering commitment to his responsibilities and to the community he served. And whereas Jim was a skilled craftsman who was known for his ability to build, repair, and create with his hands, approaching his work with patience, ingenuity, and tremendous pride in a job well done. And whereas Jim's talents and work ethic made him a valued member of the village workforce, and the quality of his work reflected the care and personal responsibility he brought to his service each day. And whereas Jim's commitment to service extended beyond the village of Webster, having proudly served his country as a member of the United States Army, and whereas Jim's years with the village also became part of his personal story, as it was here that he met his wife, Dorothea, who likewise devoted many years of service to the village of Webster in the front office. And together they built a life and raised a daughter, Lacey. And whereas the village of Webster is proud to recognize those who work, character, and dedication have helped shape our community, and Jim's contributions remain part of that history. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Webster Board of Trustees hereby honors the life and legacy of James Jim Ciccarelli and express its sincere gratitude for his years of dedicated service, his many contributions, and the lasting mark he made on the village of Webster and those who had the privilege of working alongside him. Dorothea, for your loss, I'm sorry, but he was wonderful, it seems, though I didn't get to know him because I didn't get here until 2013, when I worked alongside you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
So before we go into the public comment section, I just wanted to, I noticed that a young couple here in the audience, Cody and Drew, they went through a tragedy that no parent should ever have to go through. And maybe several months ago, I got a call from the town supervisor, Tom Flaherty at the time, who was exiting. He had gotten a call from the family about an idea they had, and Tom suggested that they give me a call. At the same time, my wonderful board member here, Mike, started a project about renovations to our Shantz Park. I believe Cody saw that on social media and then called to say, this is too good to be true. Like, that you guys are looking at this park and they're looking at this park. You know, her mother lived in Webster her whole life. Cody's a teacher in Webster, a basketball coach in Webster, and their sons, you know, they lost to Knox and Nash, and they came to us with an idea of building a toddler playground. We're really excited about it. It's gonna happen in some phases. This toddler basketball court, they've already raised money for the top coat of this court. And then obviously we wanted to also help in our renovations to get to this dream that they have. And we've shared it with the community. The fire department, when we canceled the parade, it's a shame that, we had to get 3 extra permits because they had so many people that were walking with them. There's a lot of people and a lot of feedback that we got from this community, how excited they are about this. So there's some processes we gotta go through. Don reminded us a couple today we still have to do, but we believe we're still on target to happen. So basically what I'm asking, it's good to have opposition and what we think things should look like, but for this, I ask you as the board to talk to this couple, because once you meet them and hear their story, if you're not on board, I would probably ask for a motion to send you to the doctors just to get your heart checked. But get to know them, get to know their story, and they're taking their story and they're turning it into something for our community. It's not like it's gonna be their park and, it's gonna be for the family. They decided to take that and turn it into something for our community. And I give them all the credit in the world for what they're doing. So basically, I know Carl's not here tonight. I'm just asking for this board to support this project through, and hope that you all will. Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you, Gary. I think that, be on board and we certainly be more of this hope. At this time, I would like to open the floor for public comment. Anybody who would like to address the board, may do so. Come to the podium, state your name, and we'll listen to comment.
How you doing? Good, how are you? Good. My name's Peter D'Amico, at 705 Webster Road. I'm the operation manager at Cannabis, Purely Cannabis Co. And I'm here with Salvatore, who's the owner of Purely. We're currently operating a New York State licensed adult dispensary in Ontario, New York. And we're here tonight because we have received our second license and we would like the opportunity to possibly bring our second location to the Village of Webster. I understand when New York first legalized adult cannabis use, the village made the decision to opt out of retail cannabis sales. At the time, there were a lot of unknowns. There weren't established dispensaries to look at, and there weren't much operating histories. The municipalities had to make a decision about the industry that didn't really exist yet. We are an existing local operator, and we could show you exactly how we operate. Our goal with Purely has been to run a professional, clean, responsible retail business. We check identification, serve only 21 and older customers, sell products that are grown and processed through the New York regulated tested cannabis system, maintain security and surveillance, follow state regulations, employ local people, and operate like a professional retail establishment. One reason I wanted to come tonight was to push some real numbers behind this conversation. I brought a report with us of our existing locations covering approximately our first 4 months of operation between April 14th and August 12th. During that period, our store completed approximately 11,775 transactions. Those sales generated approximately $28,197 in New York's 4% local cannabis excess tax alone, and $63,448 in New York's 9% retail cannabis excess tax, totaling $92,503 in tax revenue generated by one store in 4 months. If you simply see this performance, you're looking at a potential of roughly $270,000 plus per year in cannabis tax revenue generated by one location. Before considering the other economic benefits of having an occupied commercial property, employees, customers, visiting surrounding businesses, and investment in the community, I want to be clear that the 4% is distributed through the county, through the local municipalities. But I also don't think that should be the decision made solely on just tax revenue. Cannabis is already legal in New York. Webster residents who purchase cannabis can already drive outside of the village and buy it. The question is whether some of the economic activity should be allowed to occur here in a controlled and regulated environment. The village would also retain ability under the New York law to establish reasonable regulations concerning the time, place, and manner of dispensary operations, including zoning and hours. And so opting in does not mean giving up local involvement. We also are not asking the village to approve on-site consumption. We are looking for cannabis retail sales, so not to do with on-site consumption. There's no on-site consumption at our retail store. We are willing to work with the village on location, appearance, security, traffic, hours, and other reasonable concerns the board may have. Most importantly, I would like to invite every one of you guys to come visit our location in Ontario. Don't take my word for what Purely Cannabis store looks like and how we operate. Come see it, meet our employees, look at our security, our check-in procedures, see the type of customers we serve, and see firsthand how professionally our business is run. We're not asking the board tonight to simply say yes to a cannabis store. We're asking you to consider reopening the conversation and giving Purely Cannabis the opportunity to show you what a responsible, locally operated New York State licensed dispensary could bring to the village of Webster. We believe we can bring new tax revenue, jobs, investments, and customers to the village while operating in a way that Webster can feel comfortable having us as a part of the community. Thank you for your time, and if you guys have any questions for us, we would love to talk to you about it more in depth. Thank you.
Thank you. I can attest to it. I was there for the grand opening. Phenomenal operation. Well-run, security, high-tech. It was very impressive.
Thank you.
I did have one quick question.
Yeah.
Did you have a location in mind within the village already picked out, like your dream spot, or?
Possibly. Our family owns a business on Donovan Street, 205 North Avenue, and we have a storefront in there that we think would be the perfect spot for it. It has parking.
And there's a liquor store already approved next to it too, so we think it'd be good.
Yeah, so that's where we'd like to do it, just mainly because of parking and stuff,
And the zoning already, it's commercial, industrial.
and that's the zoning you need for it, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Out of the tax revenues, is there any percentage that goes back towards education of the use
So
of marijuana?
So there's the 4% and the 9%. The 9% goes to the state and the 4% goes to the county. So after the county distributes that tax, it would be towards the municipalities and I guess how you guys use it. I'm not,
And OCM, like, they have like big initiatives for the tax revenue that they generated that goes directly into like, communities and a bunch of different stuff, and they have all that information on their website too.
which is listed on top of that paper I gave you guys.
I mean, it's pretty extensive too, especially, 3 years in. I mean, I think they hit over like $1 billion in sales, so it's just astronomical, the amount of money that they've generated so far in New York State. But yeah, I think it's, every community is a little bit different how they allocate the funds and the tax dollars, so.
So that $200,000 figure that was the total tax that's going to, most of which goes to the state of New York, right?
Yeah, so 4% of that would go to the county, and then the county would distribute that to the other towns.
When the county splits it, 75% would go to the village, and they keep 25%.
Yeah, I believe so. I pulled that right from
So based on your 4 months, just doing some quick arithmetic, that's a third of a year. It would be like $63,400 would go to the village. Assuming you had the same.
the 270 is just the total 13% tax.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Annually, right? Yeah.
All right, well, I don't know about the board, I'm not a board member, but I wouldn't necessarily be looking to raise more money for the state of New York and take enough money. But I'd be interested in what the village gets.
Yeah, oh, for sure. That was, I mean, every month we've been growing, so those numbers are just estimated. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, one more question. We're hoping that you could do a workshop on it, or I don't know, like, what the next step would that would be? Like, so you guys talk about it, or how do we get it back to do a vote again, or something like that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it internally. Can get it on a agenda at some point, so it's appropriate.
Perfect, thank you.
We post, and it's gonna be on our workshops and stuff on our website,
Okay,
so,
appreciate you.
and you can always call.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Cody Morozek, and I'm Knox and Nash's mom. I'm here with my husband and my mom as well, and we wanted to come tonight just to introduce ourselves officially. We've been working with members of the board very closely since the beginning of May, as Jerry so beautifully shared a little snippet of our story. And we are so honored that we have this partnership and that we've been able to really create a beautiful relationship and also hopefully a really beautiful and joyful park that our community can use. We welcome being able to meet you all personally and share our story and also our passion of why Webster, why we chose that park, and why we really want to give back to this community. As Jerry shared, I grew up here. I teach second grade at Clem South. I'm the varsity girls basketball coach at Webster Schrader. My husband worked for the town of Webster Highway Department for many years. My husband and I do live in Arundequoit currently, although we were hoping to raise our boys here in Webster and hope for that in the future. But we do stay many of our hours on Channing Woods Drive where my parents live, so we are there most of the time. But Webster really is a beautiful community that we feel that this park could really use, and we're hoping that once you hear our story as well, you'll really see the passion behind it. My husband and I did an event about 2 weeks ago in Webster, the Waterfront Arts Festival, and we were able to connect with community members and so many families and kids that live in the village and in the neighborhood that surrounds Chance Park. And the outpouring of connection, excitement, compassion around our foundation, and then also the Little Legends Park and the park that the village is going to do was just incredible. We do have right now on Instagram, the Knox and Nash Foundation. Our website will be hopefully live very soon. We are a 501c3 nonprofit as well. And we've had in just a matter of a month, we have almost 800 followers, and a lot of that really is our community here in Webster. We've shared about it, and it really has been kind of our lifeboat, but also a really joyful, I think, celebration for our community, and they're really, really excited about it. So we just thank each of you for being open to hearing our ideas, and we welcome working with you closer, and if you'd love to meet us, we'd love to get to know each of you even more. But again, thank you for your compassion first and foremost. We've shared so much about the village and how you've wanted to do this with us, and I think that also speaks to where we live, and everyone is so, they don't bat an eyelash at that. They're like, yes, like Webster is an incredible place to live. So thank you so much, and again, we welcome meeting each of you, but we just wanted to introduce ourselves officially. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else at this time want to address the board? Then I will close that portion of the meeting, and we will move forward into rather lengthy agenda. I've been challenged to beat 17 minutes on this agenda, but I don't think that's going to happen. Thank you all.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, first item of business is a resolution to approve the June 11th, 25th, and July 9th minutes from our board meeting. Thank you for coming to share.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Yes, I
Good
look
to see you
forward
guys.
to meeting you more. Thank you
Yes.
guys so much. Appreciate you. We'll be
Thank
in
you.
touch. Thank you guys.
I'll make the motion.
I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
It would be on the June 25th, and it says that Heather and Jake will reach out to the union about the interest in pursuing the policy moving forward in the process. This was the Eastern Shore, and they will report back to the board once a decision's been made. I wondered, this was in June, if any decision has been made. Hi.
Yes, we did reach out to them to see if we, just because we didn't want to, keep moving forward with writing the policy, if there was an interest on their end. And at this time, they have decided that they would not like to move forward with it. There is a small cost, it would be like 65 cents a pay period or something. At this time, they thanked you very much for the opportunity, but they were okay with not moving forward with that at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'll entertain that.
Yeah, I'll make that motion again.
Second.
Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And next we have our claims and warrants. And actually them. I did not take the opportunity to look in detail through them. I don't know if you had the opportunity to do that.
It was a
Anybody
lengthy
have
one.
any questions at the moment?
No,
I do.
I reviewed them.
Okay. Well, then I would ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make it.
Second.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, we have an agreement, we have a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an encroachment agreement. This is with, property owner at 116 Judson Street. And what this is the owner desires to erect a fence close to and around the boundary of the north property line, and part of that is going to extend over a drainage easement. I have read through it, I hope. The easement agrees that if the fence is constructed and if there is a need for repair or maintenance by the village, that the village would have the right to go through that property. And I've had this happen in my own backyard with the storm sewer that extends through my backyard, and the village had to come through and put in a new pipe. And lost part of the garden, but so this is a motion to authorize the mayor to sign this agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Well, can I just say here, is this maybe just a typo, it says there's a survey from September 18th, 2026. That hasn't happened. It's in the third paragraph now. It's just a typo.
I don't know.
Don's from Don's office.
No, actually,
Or Chris.
it's from the building inspector's office.
Sorry.
Chris isn't here, so I don't.
He's just seeing into the future.
Sorry, Don, I threw you under the bus.
I mean, I understand crystal balls, but.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Good
date of
catch.
the map is.
Want me to text him? Or can you? Jake?
Well, Or Daryl doesn't have to sign it tonight.
Easiest,
You don't need to sign this tonight.
easiest thing is simply to change that, right?
Yes, Chris can change it, and also based on a recent experience with the county clerk's office, there was one of these encroachment agreements, it wasn't for a fence, it was probably for a shed, that the county clerk rejected because the agreement didn't include the property tax ID number of the property. Why they need that, I don't know, but, so I would just amend the, I'll tell Chris to, the last sentence on the first paragraph, to just say Teresa Schneider is known to the property at 116 Judges Street, Webster, New York, with a property tax ID number of whatever it is. And he'll fill that out. And then the other thing is, apparently, although they haven't asked for them in the past, but I don't know if other residents that got these encroachment agreements actually try to record them with the county clerk, which they should. But the county clerk also wants a real property transfer tax report form. There's no tax that's owed, but anytime there's a conveyance of an interest in real property, they want one of these things, which also has to be signed by the village. So Chris just prepared one for the other property, the address, I can't remember, we just did it today,
25 or 27,
whatever it was. But, so Chris is getting good at putting those together too, so he's gotta put one of those together.
Will the recent ones we've done be okay with the county clerk changes? Because we've done like several lately.
I don't know, this one wasn't okay, the county clerk kicked it back. The other ones, I don't know if those people even tried to record them. They might be just hanging on to them, I don't know. But,
The date of the survey was September 18th of '23, and we do have the tax ID number here. You want to add that?
well, you can tell me what it is, Chris has got a.
080.10-2-58.
116.
Can you say that
She's
again?
right next to me.
Jake,
She's in between
Can you say
me
it
and Germanos.
080.10-2-58.
That's toward Ron. No, that's toward Ron. She wants to put this on the north side of the property, not on my.
You wanna give that to Chris?
Side.
Yeah.
Oh, Germanos, the Germanos. I'm not sure.
Well,
Have we had anybody that's just got her go through for?
I mean, they have the fence installed.
She doesn't have.
I'm not sure what.
Well, I wouldn't,
Certainly don't have a problem with it.
But yeah, I don't think the issue is for that.
so there aren't gonna be any, there's no substantive changes to the agreement. So if the board wants to approve the agreement, authorize the mayor to sign it with the changes that we just talked about and with also the RP
584?
584 form, you can take that resolution.
Okay,
okay.
do I have a
Yes, trustee Ippolito moved.
I moved it, so I need that.
Second.
second?
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
But we're just not sure if Ms. Schneider might have already arranged to have the fence installed, and we don't wanna mess that up.
So,
No, because it takes a while to get these things.
Right.
Okay. Next, we have a resolution to authorize the mayor sign an agreement with the state for the New York Forward Wayfinding Grant and sign any other documents to facilitate the implementation of this grant. There are 3 consecutive motions, 4, 5, and 6. And the first one relates to the New York Forward Wayfinding Grant. The second one is the New York Forward Villages Veterans Memorial Park Grant. And the third one is the New York State, New York Forward Marketing Grant. I suppose that we should take them each individually, but can we take them corporately, Donna?
Pardon me?
Can we take them corporately and ask for a motion of all three, or Leanne, would you like to talk about anyone?
I'm just here if you have questions.
You could take one motion, authorize the mayor to sign the agreement for the New York Forward Wayfair grant, wayfinding grant, the Village Veteran Memorial Park grant, and, so you can combine them if you want. I would just note that the contracts themselves, they're 13 pages, and they're all identical. It's all standard kind of grant language that the state has. The stuff that's different are the cover pages, the first 3 pages, and you have these in the back of your packets. And then the other thing is towards the end, which Heather, we get along and try to figure out. These are the whole packet. If you include the state's standard terms and conditions, it's like 67 to 75 pages long. And Heather and I felt, to save paper, not to reproduce all of it. So there's a part of it, oh, here it is. So if you look at on each of them you have this attachment C, which is a work plan.
Yep.
That's basically what the grant is supposed to do. You know,
That's
for
important.
example, the gateway and wayfinding, you know, there's 3 different project components. Enhance the visitor experience through wayfinding signage, create a gateway to the North End Business District, create a Hojack Trail gateway. And then it says, you know, there's required products. It's basically what the village needs to produce under the grant and what the tasks are. So each of them has, you know, a separate description of what the grant is to be used for. It's probably the most important part of this from your perspectives. And somewhere in there, there's also a budget, which is basically the grant amount broken down as to how that money is supposed to be spent.
And that's what I have
And
highlighted in my packets.
Right. I think, Daryl, you've got copies of the full.
80 pages?
Yeah, they're right there.
Right here.
Okay.
And
So
they all
here-
have-
we
I
got
put
we got the
tabs.
full ones here if anybody wants to look at them.
There's also, just to, you may already know this, there's no financial commitment on the part of the village. It's a 100% grant, no
Yeah.
local match of any kind.
This is like the best kind of grant.
Best kind of money.
So that's why if you look at the budget, it's all the state's money that's being spent on these various
For all 3 of them?
components of the grants.
No, I'm sorry, that's not true. The bid put in some money for the,
Oh, right.
they didn't have to, but they did put in a local match for the marketing project.
Okay.
So at some point, and I guess, are you taking charge of this, Leanne?
So-
At some point, the village has to hire, you don't have to, like a consultant to help work your way through the grants. Like I think the one for marketing that the bid will do. So we need, ultimately gotta get a contract between the village and bid, you know, because you gotta, they should be paid for whatever services they're gonna render. And if for the other 2, you need Leanne and Colliers to help with grant administration, we'll need similar agreements to the one that we did for the New York Forward grant.
So, and you'll be hiring, the funding that you're receiving, part of that is also used to hire a design firm to actually design the improvements. That's all covered under the grant, as well as the construction, the implementation of it. If the village did need to, like up to this point, I've just been helping facilitate the grant agreements under my role as WIDA. If you did need to hire a firm to do the grant administration, that is not covered under the grant. So that, similar to Fast New York, you'd have to pay someone to do that. I don't know whether or not that's necessary, we haven't really talked about that yet, but we could. But either way, you'd be hiring a design firm to do the design work, and that is covered under the grant.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're gonna have a workshop in the near future to discuss cannabis.
Yes. Well,
Maybe this should be
Not
on
for that,
there.
but other things you guys asked.
Well, there should be a discussion of whether you wanna hire a consultant for the Veterans Park one and the gateway worker, or does Heather think she can administer it herself?
And I think we can talk with the rest of the WIDA. What was that? No. I said, I think we can talk with the rest of the WIDA board members to see what level of effort they're comfortable with me being a part of just under WIDA, under that annual agreement. I know Matt was doing all of this when he had this role, so it's just, yeah, something we just have to talk about.
So I think would that be like the next step to start?
I think the next
Working
step,
on
and I
things.
think you guys have, Jake, you've kind of started this, is to start drafting requests for proposals to hire design firms. That would be probably the next thing.
Yeah, I think once we get these, so that was gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say those two things. Decide if you feel like you need someone to help administer the grant, and then also hire design firms. And I think there's gonna be like an interesting kind of order of operations to these, because kind of probably want the marketing project to get pretty well underway. And like, if you're gonna be like establishing a brand for the study area, that will factor into the design of the signs that are part of the wayfinding that actually get installed. So you kind of wanna, that's probably like the first one to prioritize. Veterans Park can probably happen at any time. But everything does have like we adjusted the start of the contract dates to be today. So basically you have, I think, 2 years from today to break ground, and then 5 years from today to finish the projects, according to the grant agreements.
I certainly would expect that a couple of these would be completed, I would think, within 2 years.
That would be great, yeah.
And maybe the only one that might extend beyond that might be Veterans Park,
Right.
I would think.
And I think too, you could decide whether you want, like the marketing one is kind of its own beast, where you hire someone kind of specific to do that, but the other two, to make things simpler, we could ask Melissa this, you probably could put those in one RFP, you know,
Have
to do
one
all of
des-
that.
have One design firm do both.
Yeah, just to have less to coordinate. We can talk more about how we want to do it, but that might make sense.
But I think maybe, Heather, Jake, and Jeff, the treasurer, the three of you should, if it's gonna get administered internally, it's gonna be a combination of the three of you to do it. And if you feel it's too much, that would influence, whether to hire someone outside. So I think three of you need to have a discussion amongst yourselves first, and then come back to the board with what you think.
I think Jeff's not here, so he could do it. I vote for that.
What does it go like, this?
Yeah.
I went like this, you went like this. Okay.
Okay, well then, I would like to propose a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign agreements with the state for the New York Forward Wayfinding Grant, the New York Forward Villages Veterans Memorial Park Grant, and for the New York Forward Marketing Grant, all together.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Abolito? Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes. Can I ask a quick question though?
Yes.
I thought we wouldn't have much to do with the marketing part. That would mostly be the bid, right?
I think we said the bid would handle the project,
Okay.
but that Karen would support ongoing updates and stuff. That was part of the sell to the LPC when we recommended this project?
I think Elena said she's pretty firm on, she's okay to handle it herself.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, go the rest of your agenda.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Leanne.
Bye.
Thank you, Leanne.
We got 7 minutes, so.
Stick around if you want, listen.
Next, we have the
Probably rather
resolution
spend
to
time.
adopt
Thank you.
seeker concerning the annexation of a portion of the Xerox West Campus from the town of Webster.
So Daryl, the way you gotta do this, and you've done this before, there's the short form environmental assessment form that Xerox prepared. And if you look at it, it's all blank except for question number 1. You guys have that in front of you. It's this thing, the short form. Yeah, you got it. So, does the proposed action only involve the legislative adoption of a plan, local law, ordinance, administrative rule, or regulation? And they check yes, because technically, the annexation only involves passing a local law after the resolutions are done. So they didn't have to fill out the rest. Despite that, there are court rulings that says annexations are still subject to seeker. So, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If you check yes, you think you're all done, but just to be safe. So
Part 2.
so then there's the part 2, the impact assessment. And so you need to go through each of those with the board and determine whether there is, any impact or a moderate to large impact. And then when you get through all that, hopefully you'll determine
Yeah, I gotta read all these out.
yeah, hopefully it's an unlisted action. Annexations are not.
Tom, you're throwing that word seeker out a lot tonight.
I know, I tell you, well, Jake and, it's,
I'm not allowed to swear at board meeting.
right, yeah, it's not our favorite state law.
Don came to play today.
It, to me, it just bogs things down, It's, I think the statute is way too broad, because it basically covers anything municipalities need to do, which some clearly have no impact on the environment, so why do we have to go through this process? But it is what it is.
I was trying to tell you earlier.
Yeah, it is what it is, and it's the state of New York for you. So anyhow, so you gotta go through each of those 13 things, and so, and basically it's just moving a boundary, right? Right, we're not building anything, so it's moving a line on a map.
So we'll go through them. And I'll mark them off as we go.
Yes. And
And
then,
sign.
right, and then give it to Heather, she can make it part of the official record, so that if anybody ever questions whether we did seeker or not for this, we did.
Jake, is this the same one we're doing a short one? The others, right.
No.
Yeah.
It's a blanket, it's gonna cover
But his
both.
other one is gonna be filled out, because it's not an action that just involves adopting a local law.
So, as we go through this, we're going to answer all these questions in part 2. And I will read them. No or small impact may occur, or moderate to large impact may occur. 1, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? And I would say no.
No.
Because the intention is, it's gonna get zoned general industrial, just like
Just like it
the
is
adjoining land to the south that's in the village currently.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land?
No.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? I would say no. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure or mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies? No. Public-private wastewater treatment utilities? No. Number 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. The potentially affected disadvantaged community identified as having comparatively higher burden or vulnerability by the disadvantaged community assessment tool. No. And finally, will the proposed action cause or increase pollution burden in a disadvantaged community? No. And therefore, for part 3 of the short form assessment, determination of significance, for every question of part 2 that was answered, moderate to large impact may occur, should be an explanation. Well, we did not have any that occurred, so there will be no explanation.
Very nice job,
Check the box if you have determined, based on the information analysis above, any supporting documentation.
You'll check the second box.
And then check the box if you have determined based on information.
And then ultimately you just sign it, Daryl, and give it to Heather.
Do that a little bit later, and another thing to sign, so. All right.
So, and then there's the, I did an actual
We need to
seeker, I did an actual seeker resolution. You don't need to read all these whereases, but I would just get down to the resolution itself. It's on, you see, it just recites, we had a public hearing, that was the joint public hearing with the town.
Number 2, joint hearing of the town, yep, and village was duly noted, published, and we had that. Joint hearing was held on June 2nd. And whereas a short form been submitted, petition of the Board of Trustees, we have reviewed and discussed the form, short form, the assessment forms of Part A and Part B. Part 1 and Part 2. Be it resolved, therefore, that the proposed action is classified as an unsolicited or unlisted action, under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and the village board is the lead agency, and based on the information available, concludes that there is no potential large probability of an environmental impact occurring. And it will not result in any significant environmental impacts. The superintendent of public works of the village is to give any and all notices that are required by the Environmental Quality Review Act for this action. So, in light of that, do I have a motion to adopt seeker concerning the annexation of a portion of the Xerox West campus.
On the way down is looking down, I'm wondering if there's, before I
Is this
see.
anything?
No, I'm just waiting for Jerry to say, so move.
So move. I make that motion.
Second.
I thought you had something.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Trustee Buckingham?
Aye.
Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. So, we move now to, resolution in order to approve the annexation of a portion of the Xerox West campus from the town of Webster. So you have that in front of you. Resolution findings and order of the Village of Webster Board of Trustees to annex a parcel from the town of Webster to the Village of Webster pursuant to General Municipal Law, Article 17. Do I need to read this whole thing?
No,
I'll
you don't really
read
need
part
to.
of
I
it.
would just note that, you know, we're supposed to have attached as Schedule A, the actual petition, which, Heather, you got the Xerox's petition, right, for the annexation of this? Because at the tail end of this whole thing, you gotta have a whole packet of this resolution, the petition, and you gotta keep it all together in case the state ever wants to look at it.
Okay. Can everybody make sure you have your mics on? Carl's listening, he cannot hear.
I didn't turn
Well,
it
tell
on.
him to turn up his thing.
Turn up his ear.
He's on holiday.
Yeah, he should be on watching if he's on holiday. Carl, if you could hear me, you're on holiday, sir.
Okay, so, looks like there will be some things that will accompany this.
The main, so, and again, it talks about seeker again.
Yep,
You gotta resolve that the petition complies in form and content with the Article 17 of General Municipal Law. That, and then number 4 is
Just did that.
the important stuff as to why it's within the overall public interest for the village to annex that parcel of land, because it's located within the reimagined Webster Brownfield Opportunity Area, which was certified by New York State as a designated Brownfield Opportunity Area. That it's a key step to implementing the vision established in the Brownfield Opportunity Area plan. And it'll streamline any municipal approvals needed for the future redevelopment of the combined parcels. And that is mutually beneficial to the village and the town. And then lastly, Xerox is supportive and in favor of the Brownfield Opportunity Area plan. And they wish to assist the village and town in reaching the objectives of that plan. So we did.
I would add one thing, however, that I think is important as well, and that would be number 5, where there exists both in the vicinity of and where within the annexation parcel, sanitary sewer mains owned by both the town and village. Intention of the village, that any future redevelopment of the annexation parcel be connected to the village sanitary sewer collection system unless it is agreed by the town and village. The connection to the village system is not feasible or cost prohibitive. In which case, the village and town would negotiate appropriate municipal agreement to address potential town out of district users. And that's an important communication.
Basically, the town insisted on that.
Right.
But they want the village to handle whatever sanitary sewer usage comes out of their combined parcel. And we'll, yeah, Jake and me were like, fine, we'll take the revenue.
Yeah.
Why not?
So, and then, I didn't know, so it's in the Northeast Joint Fire District, correct? Yeah. So it's gonna remain there. I don't believe there's any other special districts that it's in, it might be in a drainage district by the town, but once it gets annexed to the village itself is one big drainage district, so. And the village doesn't ever assess separate drainage fees like the town does. It's just all part of your village taxes.
And actually, there's also no other indebtedness, liabilities, or interest in connection with the annexation parcel. Accordingly, no amount is otherwise due to the town of or village in connection with this annexation.
And number 11 is an important one.
11?
Number 11, where you're giving your consent approval for the annexation.
Oh, yeah.
It's relevant as well, it's not actually got to give it yet, but I'll take a motion to approve this resolution. And that would be the board giving its approval and agreement.
Make that motion.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Trustee Buckley? Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
So just quickly before you go on to the, I just want to review the next steps. I saw on the town board's agenda for next Thursday, they have a similar resolution on its agenda. Assuming they also approve it, the village's next step would be that I would draft a local law that basically incorporates the annexation. It'll set the zoning, which will be general industrial. And it's not subject to a public hearing because we already had a public hearing, the joint public hearing. And then we pass the local law, and then a bunch of, well, at least 2 maps need to be, the village is responsible for preparing. One that shows the addition to the village, and the other that shows, that goes to the, and one that goes to the town, that shows what's now not in the town. And ultimately, those maps get filed with the county clerk and the Department of State, and that completes the annexation.
So one map shows the addition,
Yeah.
new boundary of the village, the other one is what is not in the town, so sort of a copy of.
Yeah, and they don't need to be maps of the entire village and the entire town. So we can look, there might already be existing maps that we can use. We'll have to figure that out.
Okay. Okay, next item. The resolution to adopt seeker of the Village of Webster Board of Trustees concerning the rehab of sewer collection, a sewer collection utilizing cured in-place pipelining upon and around East Main Street as part of the Community Development Block Grant Project. That is in front of you, whereas pursuant to Article 6, blah, blah, blah. Be it resolved that the proposed rehab of a sewer collection main is within the definition of a Type 2 action described in New York State 6 NYCRR Section 617.5 C, otherwise precluded from environmental review under the Environmental Review Conservation Law. This is basically, if you look at number 6, including replacement, rehab, reconstruction of the structure or facility in kind at the same site. Jay, can you explain a little bit more about what's going to be happening here on East Main?
Yes, we were notified by the county that there's another round, I guess, phase 2 of 2026 Community Development Block Grant Funding. It's an opportunity. We had a real short, week and a half window to submit a application. So we looked at where what areas were within the maps and then eligible areas, and it was basically west of 250, south of Ridge, or Main Street, and then north of Main Street between Main Street and the expressway. Unfortunately, that means the south side of Main Street, East Main Street sidewalks that we really want to do is still not in the map, but it'll be on there soon. So we looked at areas that we've done, sidewalks and cured in place pipeline and where areas that would need it. This portion of East Main Street actually has it's an older section of sewer, and then the north side of the houses, basically they run across the backyards of all the houses from around Mobile, near the Robb Cemetery, down to Baker Street, and it picks it up again near the old post office building. It runs to about 82 behind Sun Auto and then heads north there. So we wanted to rehab those two sections of pipe, and it fits within the map, and it was a great opportunity to be able to do that. So that's a real nice way to do it. End up with a new pipe without having to dig anything.
I would appreciate it.
And they really seem to enjoy working with us as we get the project turned out. They want this done by May of next year. We've got one right now that we're just waiting on, that's Sanford, or a portion of Sanford, Pierce, and West Main Street, building off what we did on Sherwood Avenue. We're just waiting for a contract. They just started the new year, so the contract should be coming soon. And we should be able to get both of these done before spring. And then, of course, in January, February, we're gonna be applying for another round of community development block grant. When it usually comes out in, January, they'll have a meeting, and in February they do. So more.
So the village has been awarded this second grant?
We haven't been awarded yet, but, there wasn't my understanding, there's not a lot of people that submitted for it.
So how much is the grant? If you get it?
Well, I asked for $100,000, and the project's about 140, I think it was, and that, which typically we try we're around 45%. But knowing that they're throwing an extra round in, and knowing there wasn't a lot of people that submitted, there was a really short window, I got a little greedy. But they don't just deny it outright if you get greedy. They say, no, we'll give you 75. So there's a chance they'll say, hey, yeah, here's your 100. So I figured I'd take that chance.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I'd rather ask for more and have them tell me that we can get less than not ask for enough.
Get even less.
So this is like a preemptive seeker, assuming the village gets the grant.
Oh, yeah, they want seeker, part of their environmental checklist to submit it, they want seeker done.
As part of the grant application.
Yep.
I've never, in the 12 years I've been on the board, we never talked secret so much in one day.
It's terrible.
Well, I think this would be very beneficial for the village.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Oh, that's aggressive.
I'm ready.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Morenzi?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Polito?
I don't appreciate going last, but
That means you're the deciding vote.
that's true.
Motion passed.
Okay, next we have a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign amended cooperation agreement with the County of Monroe in accordance with HUD. An agreement for urban county requalification. What they have done is they have changed, I believe, one small part of what we have agreed to in the past. That would be amended, if you read number 1, cooperation agreement shall be amended to include 21C, which would read as follows. Parties to this agreement understand and agree that they may not sell, trade, or otherwise transfer all or any portion of CDBG funds to a metropolitan city, urban, county, unit of general local government, or insular area that directly or indirectly receives CDBG funds in exchange for any funds, credits, or non-federal considerations, but must use such funds for activities eligible under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974. This will be remaining in effect. All other terms and conditions of the agreement from October 1st, 2026 to September 30th, 2029, the next 2 years. I would be in favor of this. Very small change, I don't think it will affect at all the community development block grant.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know why a municipality would ever want to sell, trade, or otherwise transfer grant money.
I agree. I don't
That
either,
doesn't
but
make any sense.
Well, in Monroe County, there's like a consortium where the Monroe County kind of heads up the HUD program for Community Development Block Grant, and a lot of towns and villages are affiliated with it, but the town of Greece is not, City of Rochester is, and Arundel is not, maybe one other that don't, they go out and try to do it themselves directly. Where we work with and let the county do all the paperwork and administrative part, and we just kind of work directly with them, which makes it a lot nicer.
well, I would make the motion to authorize myself to sign this agreement.
You're gonna make the motion.
Yeah, I authorize.
I'll second
Mayor Byers,
Aye.
trustee Alito,
Aye.
trustee Belkane,
Aye.
trustee Morenz.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. So we have next, resolution to authorize the bid in Frederick Cirque to utilize and use the roadway designated as area I-28 West Main Street, Webster, New York, on August 15th for the sole purpose of the Webster Village Jazz Festival, to authorize the village clerk to send the required letter and sign the necessary form to the New York State Liquor Authority. To whom it concerned, the village of Webster gives permission to Frederick Cirque to use the road designated as area I-28 West Main Street for the dates for the sole purpose of the Webster Village Jazz Festival.
Mayor Byers, is it okay if I speak on this real quick?
We can talk about it, sure.
Thank you. And it's one, sorry.
Oh, it's one?
Yeah.
Heather, under the clerk business, she's got liquor license letters. This is what it's sort of all about. Heather will explain.
So, a little bit ago, I noticed that the town clerk was asked, we don't get a ton of these. Oftentimes, it's either like, because of Jazz Fest, or an event happening by the bid, or a new business is opening, and then the village board is giving, permission to have them, it waives a 30-day, there's like a 30-day waiting period, and then there's also, the village board is telling the New York State Liquor Authority that they're okay with this establishment having a liquor license. We don't get many of them, and honestly, this whole time, we've had a couple, I've been doing it without bringing it to the village board, and I noticed that the town clerk makes sure to bring it to the board, so I asked Don, I was like, oops, I don't think I've been doing that, so now I'm gonna make sure to do that, apologies. So for Jazz Fest, a lot of times I'll get it like a couple days before Jazz Fest. So I'm just gonna start putting this on the calendar and bring it to you early, even if I haven't received a letter for these types of things, but just wanted to explain why you haven't seen this before.
And Heather and I talked about it, but for example, with the Jazz Fest, let's, hopefully, knock on wood, this would never happen, but let's say there's a drunken brawl happens in the middle of the Jazz Fest. Well, next year, maybe this board will decide no more beer outside for the Jazz Fest. So then, it would come, rather than have Heather unilaterally decide that on behalf of the village, it should come to the board.
Yeah, but it's easier to just blame Heather.
So that's true.
And that's why I'm not.
Or for example, a new liquor store or bar is opening up. Some board member or future board members may have some objection to the location of that establishment. And rather than the village clerk just, uniformly or unilaterally signing off on that it's okay, it should come to the board to decide whether it's okay or not.
This is to drink in the street.
So there's two separate ones.
Well, the next one is to waive the.
Yeah,
Yeah, so people can walk on the sidewalks.
yeah.
Right.
They
So-
do that in a trick or treat trail, I don't know if you pay attention, someone's parent.
Well, there's an
Yeah,
area
that's the
designated.
next
That's in
resolution
front
is
of,
authorized drinking in public.
That's
So
in
there's,
front of
and
the
there's
coast.
two, so use of the road, we have to provide permission, and then there's a second letter that allows drinking in public.
On the
and then-
14th and 15th, this one is on the 15th only.
Yep, he only needed it, cause the Friday is in the pubs,
Yeah, Friday it's all indoors.
Jake.
So does the
So we're
area
blocking off the road,
designated
right?
as
You don't need to drink.
128? Does that designate in front of the coach only?
No, it's between
No,
that
it's
area.
between numbers 1 and 28. So,
Yeah, Fritz
One
is the
and
one that
28.
told me what.
That's between.
yeah, the address is 1 and 28, right?
I actually don't know what 1-28, are those the addresses?
Yeah,
Yeah, like 1,
So it goes from the.
One
basically
West
the-
Main Street to
It goes from the
28.
intersection down to the village hall,
correct. That's the way I read it.
yeah,
which is generally where the stage is set up anyhow in front of village hall. That kind
Okay.
Right,
of is the last part of
and
the,
then there's a letter that I have to sign too, which I
Okay,
include that in there,
yeah.
that the state just
Isn't that
recently
much clearer
required
from one?
us to provide use of the road.
Yeah.
Is that the one you signed in Keithburg?
Okay. I don't, I think I put the copy in here. Yeah.
Your Keith,
Okay,
Keithburg?
well,
Well,
Yes, I
yeah,
wrote.
this is getting approved.
And then also, just because I just got the letter, I included that too for the wine walk in the car shop. So that's coming up too, so. It's authorization for both of those events. September, yeah, September 19th.
that's,
I know. You guys anyone wants to celebrate?
so the first is for permission to use the road designation, the area between 1 and 28 West Main Street on the 15th for the sole purpose of the Webster Village Jazz Festival. And
Can you just say the 16th too, or both days, what is it? Not the
14th and 15th?
Yeah, just say the 14th and 15th, just in case. That's what Fred said he needed, but just so we're covered. It should say.
and the
it.
15th, you would like to amend that to the 14th and 15th?
Yeah,
14th is inside.
Jake's questioning me, but it's in the letter that
The
Fritz.
second amendment, or the second
The letter says the 14th.
where it says the
Yeah.
14th, that's outside, that's for Saturday.
Okay, then it should be right. Jake is looking at 6 cents. But,
Right,
Well, I've never seen the one for closing the roads before. This one is, they're closing the road. We're on Friday night.
it's not closing the road though, and we're just giving them access to the road. And then and drinking in public.
I give you access.
Says they use the road
Just read the
designation.
letter, please.
I did. That's where I got my idea
Well, the
from.
first one is to use the road, the second letter is to,
Fritz
Drink in
knows
the
what he's
road.
doing.
on the 14th and 15th.
Yeah.
okay. In other words, the first
Fritz
one,
knows.
to use the road on the 15th, that is where they set up
Outside.
from 12 o'clock until 10 o'clock or 11, whatever, use the road to sit in, and et cetera.
Yes,
The 14th and 15th is simply for the ability to drink in public,
correct.
correct?
Just the, yeah, it's, Fritz does.
Between 1
Yeah.
and 28 West Main.
Yeah,
Yes.
So we'll do the first one.
thank you.
We have a proposal here to allow the designated areas between 1 and 28 West Main Street for the sole purpose of the Webster Jazz Festival. And that's asked by the coach with the date of the 15th.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
And that would be the served liquor outside.
Thank you. Trustee Alito?
Yeah, aye.
Trustee Renzi?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Mayor Barnes?
Aye.
Motion passes.
The second one is to use the area of West Main Street between numbers 1 and 28 West Main Street for the purpose entitled Drinking in Public for the 14th and the 15th. And I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mayor Barnes?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Renzi?
So Heather,
What?
in your letter, it's Article 1, Section 93-2. There is no A. If you look in the village code, there's no A.
He already sent it.
What?
He already sent it. He asked me for the same one every time. I'll fix it for next year, but it's already sent. He always asks for it too late. It needed to go out there a while ago. So,
Okay.
Sorry.
There's no such thing as 93-2A.
okay.
It's Canadian.
Yeah.
That's the Canadian one?
Hey,
Okay, sorry, I'll take it.
section A. It's pretty good.
Sorry, thank you.
Well, I believe then that, Don, do you have anything else to add? I think we've had comment throughout the,
Well, we can talk some more about seeker if you want.
okay.
No.
No, I don't have any.
Well, September 11th, hiring a new clerk, liquor license, we talked about the liquor license. and everything.
Yes, thank you.
And that. What else would you like to do?
Okay, so the September 11th ceremony, I've already started planning, but I wanted to, because it's the 25th anniversary, I just wanted to get the board's input. I have an idea to invite, a student from, I asked Brian, superintendent, if he had a student in mind that would like to sing the national anthem. This student's an extra special one this year, because it's 25 years. So I just wondered if there was anything you had in mind that you wanted to include in the ceremony. We usually try not to keep it political, we don't want our poor first responders sitting there sweating, listening to a bunch of, yeah, so we try to keep it, and if anyone had an idea, we'd like to get one person that, we had past fire commissioner. Just wondered if there was any input that you wanted to share. You can let me know too. I've confirmed everybody that we always have, like the supervisor does the pledge, Mayor Byers does all the remarks. Most. And then I reached out to Superintendent Neiman. We have the village band, and it's going to be Friday, September 11th, obviously at, we were thinking 5:30, since it's a Friday night. Wanted to know if you had any input on that. Usually they're at 6, but we got 5:30. But feel free to let me know if you think of any ideas. Just let me know. And then, so I've probably been talking about this for 2 years, but Donna is unfortunately retiring. And we put a sign on the ceiling said must be this tall to retire, but it didn't work. So I would like, actually it was Jake's joke. So we want to get someone in there in enough time, since we know, to be able to train alongside her. And it's kind of a lengthy process, unfortunately. It is civil service, so we're not required to hire off a list, but you have to at least try. And that person has to take a civil service test. So I've reached out to civil service, start the steps in the process, but I would like authorization to start the process of hiring somebody, so that we
Is there
can.
a retirement date?
She'll be done in February, like probably the 1st of February. So the list takes a while, and just want to make sure we have enough time to train, and we've got events coming up that, we
Right.
get to,
As long as the budget supports an additional salary,
okay.
because I know you're gonna come here with your formulas of
I know.
what we're gonna need to pay, so
Yeah.
I think
If anyone has
that's the first
anyone in
thing,
mind,
that we're adding salary.
I mean,
first.
that's something that the board will have to decide. Donna does a lot more than, the position originally had. But it's, helpful because she helps the treasurer. She really has a part in everything, and I can come to the next meeting or the workshop that we need to schedule with the list of duties, and we really should kind of decide the salary range for it.
And the salary range should come off of job description, so hopefully you're saying this position does more than
Yeah,
whatever you need to encapsulate that
Okay.
into the job description. That's
yeah.
how we come up with a
Well, I think
better
she's
salary.
being fairly paid now. It wasn't, I don't think it started that way, but it was also a very entry-level position. It's really not now, so, she's got, definitely is an office assistant, but she definitely has part in everything, so. She does, part of the abstract. She's the one that does this every time for us. She prepares this abstract, she puts them all in. She, helps code the bills. So we really all help in all areas. And she bugs Jake to make sure he's getting his
But if you're
timesheets
the
in.
new position, it's gonna include all those things, you should have it somewhere in the
Yeah.
job description.
I do, yes, I'll bring that. Well, that's the thing about, we've kind of just kind of pulled it. You guys are like, wow, they have an idea at civil service on what, typically are paid, but that's what's been my struggle, is that, we don't really have one.
What's her salary now?
I think she's at, but the board has just kind of arbitrarily been like, $16 an hour, and, yeah, she makes, that's about what.
40,000 a year.
And then I will say that position does the majority of the passports, and we do get, income, and I can get those numbers again for you, but a lot of her position is paid for by passports. Not all of it, but a good chunk, so.
And what does civil service say the range is, salary?
I'll have to get that to you, I'm sorry. But, usually when I bring up the county though, I get daggers. But she's about, I can tell you right now,
Personal tax.
we're looking pretty good tonight. I gave Don a smiley face, binder cut, just so he'd be in a good mood. Yeah, she's really invaluable. 2306 is what her current hourly rate is, and she's hourly, not salary. So,
Okay.
should be thinking soon to maybe start the process. Okay. Okay, and, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be announced at fall training school, but I was selected to be on the executive committee for the New York State Association of City and Village Clerks.
Awesome,
So,
nice,
thank you.
that's great.
I'm right. So, and thank you for your support on that, because I really think it's been, what my trainings and classes that I take are really helpful, and I appreciate your support on that.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, Jake?
I just have one question. I don't know, is the board supposed to consider revoking container law for September 19th? now? This was in the packet.
Oh, sorry, it was in number 12. It was part of 12, I just kind of stuck.
Oh, it was,
it.
well, okay. All
Authorized drinking.
Yeah,
right, I just wanted to miss that opportunity.
thank you.
Authorized drink outside. The Shands Park update, I think there was, discussed some early on. I just wanna, jump on to, it's, I know the board, well, before we met, the couple there, the board was talking, and I put in the budget about doing upgrades at Shands Park, and I think it's just incredible timing that these things came together at the same time, so, their efforts that they're going through, certainly, I think ultimately are gonna end up saving the village money, because a lot of the pre-planning and engineering stuff is kind of done, so that's, not all of it, certainly we have Sioux Steel on here later on, but it's a big part of it, so it's really great. I think there's some divine intervention here, so, that's really good. Goats. Get goats on the agenda, I think, for the first time. A few years back, I was at one of the tree, the DEC where we discussed trees and urban forestry and all that. I was more involved in that, looking for grants for some of the street trees and things. And there was a discussion on, clearing land, and they talked about those. I looked into it back then. We didn't end up bringing it to the board or anything, but looking at Shands Park now, or not, excuse me, not Shands Park, Case Park. It gets quite overgrown in there. It's really wet. I'd love to be able to get light in and hopefully dry it out. Maybe be able to see better where we can improve the drainage of it, cut down on the mosquitoes. Maybe just have the park an overall more enjoyable place to be. Open up, have a little more light in there. The goats, we met with a couple who have a farm out in Victor, I believe it is. They do this, they're doing it for the Canal Authority. Where they're going along, they bring the goats out, they set up an electric fence, they come out every couple of days, they keep moving the fence, and the goats go through, and everything from about 6 foot down, anything green, they go through and eat and clear. Best thing is they love poison ivy, it doesn't affect them. I learned some things about goats, that apparently when they eat things, there's enzymes in their system that the seeds, they don't just spread the seed when they eat. So once they eat them, they're no longer, they're not replanting the seeds with their fertilizer. They drop out the other end. The plants are gone, or at least that generation of them isn't getting reseeded. So that's something that kills the seed, I guess. They just did a study or a contest with the Canal Authority where they did mechanical clearing, goats, and spray, and studied it to see what the best and most cost-efficient and effective way to do it was. And the goats won, and they got more to do down there with the canal as well. So I'm really excited about it. I think it'd be great way to publicize our park. People are going to be interested getting back there and looking at it, seeing what they're doing. I think it's going to open up the park, make great improvement. I really don't think that we'd be able to get any better PR for it, get people interested. And it's a very underutilized park, and I think it'd be really, really cool. When I first sent it out, it was $9,000. I said, I replied back that it was frankly a little more than I was thinking it was going to be. So that's why you'll see a different plan here. They're like, if you can commit to two, multiple grazings, then we can reduce the price of it. Not knowing how it was going to work, I didn't want to commit to it. So I said, keep the first one what it was, and then if we can look at the second one, have that reflected. So it's about $7,000 a trip. They come out in a few weeks and be able to, a week and a half, 2 weeks, I think is what you estimated, but you never know. Be able to go through and just clear the whole area. So it's about 15 acres altogether in Case Park. It'll be about 11 acres of clearing. And again, everything from ground up, or about 6 feet, will be taken care of.
for this.
What would be the time differential between the first and the second maintenance?
Well, and this year, it's confusing because now we're in August already. I don't think there's another one. I'd have to find that out if there could be another one that would come back. Typically, when she talked about working with other municipalities, she talked about they did one in the spring and one in the fall. Kind of separated out that time. We're kind of in between both of those, so I don't know if they would, because it was the first time, if they look to do another one in the fall now, or if we would get it now and then come back in the spring and start that process then. But, and I think, of course, it's gonna depend on what our experience is with it. You know, to do it the first time, see how it goes.
Don't they need a water source of some sort of it?
I don't, they must bring water with them or have something.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's some wet areas, and they were concerned actually about having too much water, but when they walked it, they said it's okay. They get some hoof problems if their feet are wet constantly. So they must bring something out to
Okay, to go expert.
water. I don't know, but I thought it was
He wants
really
to hang
neat.
out with one of them.
And there's, you know, oh yeah, there's one that, I forget his name. Duncan. Duncan sounds like he's pretty cool. We did request to have Duncan just come hang out with us for a while. Is he,
At the
Yeah, I
bar.
think it's pretty neat that people eat that up.
You're talking about fencing an area off and then moving that fencing. Would the fencing be on either side of the walkway? In other words, how are people going to be able to walk and see the goats?
well, they won't immediately, be able to, because the walkway is one of the main areas we want to get, so they're gonna fence off. I don't know exactly the layout, but I think they fence off about an acre, at a time and then move it along. And it's an electric fence, obviously, so we'd have to have some signs up there warning people.
Kids walking through the center.
Oh, yeah, that could be bad.
Like
Yeah, no, and I'm sure someone's gonna test it. Nobody's like the wet paint signs, nobody believes them. So, but yeah, they'll move them along. And that's initially what I thought was, you know, put 20 feet or so on each side of the trail and just go through that way. But as they looked at it, they thought it'd be better to start and do the whole thing once. Some mobilization costs is a huge part of it. Actual grazing, it would, you know, they go through pretty fast, I guess.
Very cool.
I could,
I'll make a
how
motion.
how quickly would they be able to start?
They were interested in hearing about our response as quickly as possible, because they're hoping to get them in August, September. So it sounds like
I
they're,
mean, I could see August or September and then come back in the spring after initially, you have vegetation sprout up.
well, I'm gonna see if they leaves. I might do that along the street instead of using the vacuum. It'd be a lot quieter.
All right, you're just joking there, buddy.
But
So they have, if they're not gonna get here till August or September, and the second one wouldn't be till who knows when, April or May or something, do you have to do this 2-visit plan, or can you just do the one for $9,000?
yeah, I think that's the plan. That was their original proposal was just 9,000. I wrote back to them and said, hey, this is neat, but it's a little more than I thought. They said, well, if you can commit to more than one. What I didn't want to do is bait and switch them and say, oh yeah, we're gonna commit to 2 of them, have them drop it $2,000 and then decide for some reason or whatever, well, we don't want to do it again. So we've just taken $2,000 from this family business.
Right, but they didn't drop the first one.
They did, no, because of, I think, the way we discussed it. So we can just sign up and say, we just want to do it once now, because it's the same on the original proposal and this one. So I can just say, let's just do this one for now, and then if we do the second one, you know, then it would be that second cost.
Right. Just
So are you gonna get something in writing from them that is just $9,000, that's it, and we'll get back to you about the second one next year?
Yes, yeah, unless it's something they think they should do this year, is it's like, hey, we'll do it, and then we'll come back in 2 months, because stuff will grow, and we want to do it again then. If it's, I know
Well,
not a lot of
now we're
other
looking in October and November to
Yeah,
get that.
yeah, and it's,
Doesn't seem logical to do
it doesn't to me, but I'm not a goat expert. I'm not even gonna go.
He's a whisperer.
All right. Did you wanna take a resolution?
Are you asking for a resolution?
If we could authorize me to sign something.
Now,
with that
Daryl,
to
notice I put discussion
facilitate,
/ resolution.
What budget line is this coming from?
Engaging with the goats.
Sure.
What's that? 7140,400 AA.
You sure it's AA, not AD?
No,
It's
it's
the first time you
AA.
didn't take it out of the clerk's salary, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't do
That's the
1325.
board salary you just called out.
No, AA, that's parks. AA 7140, 400,
Do we have
470
enough
is the other.
that coming out of parks?
Yes.
He knows
You haven't
his
got
way.
Mike's numbers yet, before you buy goats.
What we're gonna say on spraying.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Sure, I'd make a motion to
Woo.
approve.
Second.
I'll second, third, fourth.
Oh, goodness. Mayor Byers,
Aye.
trustee Ippolito, and trustee Belkane,
Aye.
trustee Morenzi.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you.
Goats.
Then we've got Sioux Steel, the proposal was sent, I think, in June, the end of June. I know it's been spread around. This is for doing the upgrades to Shands Park. You'll see the scope of services is in there, additional services. And it's basically to coordinate and do the design for the park that's just under 20 grand, and the topo is about 5,500. But that we can contract directly with the surveyor for that survey and try to get that moving. And Sue, if you remember, we worked with her before. She did some renderings and some plans for some of the grants that we put in for before, so. She's familiar with Shands Park, she's familiar with the Veterans Park. I don't she worked on both of those.
So put some pressure on her though.
Yeah.
So, getting back to Jerry's favorite topic, senior. So if you look at our scope of services, they're gonna prepare a schematic level design plan, right? To convey the intent and feeling, and then they're gonna give you a preliminary schematic level opinion of probable construction cost. So, once you have those in hand, then we can do the secret. You don't have to wait till they get the final plans and all that.
Okay, so I think she can pull that off by the next
So if
meeting.
you can ask her how long it's gonna take to do the schematic level stuff, and you want some opinion of cost too, because I guess there's, from what I hear, there's a $600,000 budget, but if she comes back with the probable cost is gonna be $800,000, you might wanna
Right,
reconsider things.
yeah, then we'll change the scope of the project. Okay,
So did you want a resolution for that? Or waiting for the next one, sorry.
So does this mean, I'm just looking at the proposal,
I'm ready.
Well, this,
on one, she's got total fees, $25,526, but does that include, what does that include?
That includes her project initiation, it's basically the combination of this and.
All right, so you're gonna eliminate the survey.
Yes, because we can just contract to the survey directly. It's, McMahon, everyone knows our,
So upfront, she wants $19,931, right?
yes.
So you know what you're offering.
why so much up front?
Because that's what her proposal says.
Thanks, Tom.
Good answer.
You know, I don't know, you gotta ask her. Our fee is broken out by phase, but it really isn't, I guess.
Oh,
Well,
here
she's
it
got
is.
phase hours. But to get, I suppose,
Time to wrap it up.
you could, I suppose you could ask her, how much do you need up front just to come up with the schematic?
She gets 50% and then 50% of it's done. just,
When do you need that? Because you don't need board.
Yeah, she didn't ask her, it's just, she's guessing that it's gonna, or I guess that's her local lump, or her lump sum fee estimated based on anticipated hours of project understanding, and then she's got the hours chart back here.
Kind of chart right there.
all right.
Got the record, right? Hour and a half.
No. Not yet.
You want record for the longest?
No,
John did.
John Cahill still owns that.
Oh.
No, Peter does. Peter past midnight once.
That's dedication, man.
We want to move ahead with Lincoln County?
What? Will you guess?
This will be accomplished by when? October? There's something in here that says a report October, presentation to the community. Design in September, presentation October.
But she sent this June 29th, and now it's October, or excuse me, August 13th, so I suspect it's gonna be pushed a little bit. But we're gonna
need her.
pressure on,
At
yes.
least that rendition
Yeah,
for the secret thing.
I think, yeah, we'd like to, as soon as, if it's authorized, as soon as it is, call her tomorrow, get a kickoff and say, get it set started so we can do the secret stuff. And then,
But she said the schematic design would be September of 2026. There's a goal to complete the schematic design in September. So if you want her to,
I don't even know if we need the full schematic design for what we're trying to accomplish.
well,
I also don't know what the fees are.
Because that could change based on price, other things, so we just need a general. Correct?
well, if, it's better to get a schematic design in it with more stuff in there than less. Like I would include bathrooms, even though there may not be a present plan to include a bathroom, but if it's there, you can do seeker over it, so then next year or whenever, if you wanted to put in a restroom, you don't
All
have
right,
to do
well,
seeker.
we'll see
You
what
already
she
did.
can accomplish.
And if you take stuff out of the plan, it doesn't affect seeker. Just when you add stuff back in,
Okay,
now you're segmenting.
so we'll have her give us a, yes,
So I never-
sketch of
I never
everything.
do- The preliminary plan for the entire park, throw in as much stuff as you want. You can always take stuff out, but at least for seeker, you're evaluating it based on sort of the max design, you know?
Okay,
She has in here about working with the
Yes,
family.
she
Yeah.
does, yeah.
which is great.
And I don't know, if you pay her the whole, give her the whole 19 grand up front, now she's got all that incentive to get this done.
Well, she could have a conversation with her.
That was a weird way to eat a peanut butter cup. I don't like this.
Oh,
it's called a yawn. Oh,
I'm in favor of.
What does it say?
forward.
What does it say, the whole 19? It just has the initial program refinement, initiation, and then the second part, schematic.
Yeah, schematic's what we need. So that's what he's sticking on.
She's gonna need some money up front to get that part done. I mean, it does say here, our fees are broken out by phase. Fees are lump sum and estimated based on anticipated hours. I mean, it says it right there, fees are lump sum.
Okay,
Right, so if she can get us that in 2 weeks, we'll give her the money.
Yeah, but she knows that the survey's out, right, Jake?
Yeah, the survey is one of the,
It says sup and salt, so we're,
yeah, so we.
she has it in her total fees on the breakdown.
Yep,
You know, if someone wants to do the math, you could probably, you know, she's got $4,849 for the initial stuff. And then if you go down and pay her everything through review meeting, it's another,
15.
again, you gotta go through do the math, and they got the hourly rates up there to figure out, you know, she really didn't, she broke it down by phase, but she didn't total anything. She just gave you the lump sum overall total, which is the 19,000.
I think it's broken down.
Broken
It's-
down right there.
Yeah.
Did you see my notes I left you guys? Just like that.
No.
Rude.
That to me looks like it's broken down. How many hours?
Well, it's broken down by hours, but now you gotta multiply the hours times the hourly rate to turn that into dollars.
Oh, she's got here, 49, this third one, that's steel landscape architect totals. So 4849 for phase one,
Right.
15082 for phase two.
Yeah, that's the total of 19,931, that's the whole thing. But
Right.
phase two includes more than just getting the preliminary schematic level stuff done.
Right.
And if Daryl is worried about paying her for more than just getting the preliminary schematic stuff done, somebody's gotta go through and do the math and figure out what you subtract out of the 19,931. Cause they got another, I don't know what, you know, I can't add this up in my head, but she's, you know, there's another
He can't.
18 plus 19,
He said that.
8, 9, 37 hours that you gotta back off of it at the various hourly rates,
He
Oh, I
said-
got that.
if you
you
do-
know?
Yeah.
he said just don't
So that's
allow
why
it.
I'm saying,
change
just
out
pay her the
that.
19,000,
Oh, yeah.
you know, rather than
Well,
haggle with her, we'll get done with it. She'll start faster.
Oh, man.
All right. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Abolito?
Yeah, that's enough.
Trustee Polito?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane, trustee Morenzi,
Yeah.
Mayor Byers.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Architect and engineer fees, their hourly rates. Yeah,
Yeah, their hourly rates are reasonable.
yeah, I agree. Thanks, Jake.
Jake, before I forgot, signage down on 250 across from Pub 235 where it says welcome to Webster, the village of Webster, that nice branch is hanging right over, you can't even see it. I was coming up like from the lake. Take a peek at that tomorrow when you finish. You'll see branches, you can't even see the sign. There's a branch, you see the cut back. Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, gotta read those public
I know I
notifications.
do. So, finish up, we have a couple of public notifications. WEDA, in partnership with the town and village, receiving $99.8 million in Fast New York grant. Webster Transportation Infrastructure Project, acronym WTIP, which will improve transportation infrastructure near the Xerox campus to support future redevelopment. There will be a public open house at the Village of Webster Community Meeting Room, right here where we are tonight, 29 South Avenue. This will be held on Monday, August 17th. That will be just next Monday. Next Monday is August 17th. Correct?
Yeah, how fast ever.
That comes fast. And it will be from 6 to 7:30 here in the boardroom, meeting room. You're invited to come and view the latest design plans and speak with members of the project team. We encourage as many residents as possible to attend. There will be members here that meet you, greet you, to make explanation. And then finally, we have a serial bond principal and interest payment. The bond obtained in 2012 for the STP grid system, the STP construction, and water tank work. It will be made in the amount of $61,793.75 on or about September 8, 2026. I would encourage all of you, you have heard about the Jazz Festival that begins tomorrow. It will be Friday, August, from approximately 6 o'clock to 10 p.m. Sure that you can find,
With a jazz fair too for Friday. Lots of vendors will be selling things.
on the street.
Yeah.
Near the street. And I believe that there is a listing of times in the Webster Herald, is it? Of when the different groups will be in the different establishments here in the village. There are 10, I believe, groups that will be playing throughout the evening, finishing with the group at the shirt place.
What?
Shirt place.
I don't know. Did you know?
I know what,
That's-
I know stuff.
Next to the cobblestone?
Shirt place.
It's right next to the coach.
Oh,
The coach.
oh, yeah.
All right, and then Saturday, of course, from 4 until 10, there will be jazz on the street. So, we hope to see you there. Thank you for listening, if you have listened all the way to the end of this meeting. I don't think it's a record, but we've gotten pretty close, I think. Anyways, can I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I made that motion. And none opposed, so congratulations, have a great evening, and thank you for watching.
All right.
Thanks, Daryl.
Al, where is this place? The cannabis place in Ontario?
Right on 104.
Yeah, like what's the name?
Just past.
350.
Yeah,
350?
yeah, beautiful.
Yes,
It's
please.
on the.
I'm gonna go look at it.
It's on the north side of the road.
I'm gonna go check it out.
There was a few comments on Facebook,
I just
live
Googled.
Facebook that were
What does
not
New
in
York State
favor.
use the?
It's that one guy that always
Sales
knows.
tax.
I don't know. And
Yeah.
Run, Forrest, run!
Very,
Well, you can't,
Very well regulated.
you can't do anything about the fact that
To go there, but-
it's legal.
Well, it's the state of New York, so who knows? Supposedly
That's what I said.
40%.
We're not, if we are voting whether to make it legal or not in our town, I would be voting no. But Kathy Hochul's already did. And what it does, I think, is it gives you it is,
I think.
it is watched
I
from
think that's
farm
in
to
the statute.
store to buyer.
it's unbelievable. I didn't
It can't be
realize.
laced with nothing, I mean, I like all those safety things. And I have a friend that's trying to, is already putting a few in, and he was telling me, Jerry, he goes, they come
Right.
and audit you multiple times, but they'll come, you have to have a certain type of security system.
Cannabis.
You have to have so many cameras, it's
Oh, yeah, it's
dictated
incredible. You gotta see the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, it's
Propping up in
dictated.
the office.
So,
in the laws, that-
Position 9%.
and if you don't do them,
9%.
there's like, you get a warning and then they
No,
pull
He
you.
represented
this is
himself very
9%.
well.
The total tax is 13%. 9% goes to the
He's very
state.
professional, extremely.
And
his- I
4%
think I well, I don't know,
goes to
but
the
he was very
counties.
concerned
And then
that
the
his
county
first
splits
crack at
that
it
4%,
kind of maybe
75% to the municipality
ruined
where
because of
the
his
actual
uncle.
shop is located.
because his
And they keep 25%.
do that to set a business.
Judy did,
Who's his uncle?
the garage store.
Oh,
What's his name?
and have they
Peter?
started paying yet?
Domingo.
That was an issue to begin
Oh,
with.
I'm gonna send out an email about this, I'm gonna ask
Oh,
what you
I'm
guys
sure
want to do a
I
workshop
don't know.
to talk
You
about
would
all
think
of
by
it.
behind 2 years or 3
You would think by now they're, the money's.
They finished it, figured it out, I suppose.
Yeah.
You're retired, you can
No.
come. You and Daryl come. You and Daryl come.
I gotta move some clothes.
I'm not going, I'm tired.
it's something about.
Kind of against Henry.
No, he's interested.
Daryl, I'm gonna send an email about setting up a workshop for all of the items that we're pushing up.
Get some bourbon.
He's going somewhere else.
Salary stuff that Jared wanted to talk about, he said that every
schools?
thing, I don't know.
Probably should look.
About benefits discussion that when I gave Jeff
Have you ever gotten our public pass?
2 weeks of
Yeah.
vacation,
Terry's like a
wanted to look at
secret swole,
Making
military
that-
guy.
maybe
He lives
changing the
in
handbook so that,
And
I don't know, he didn't,
Pat
I
and
don't know,
stuff,
he didn't
they go
agree
visit
that
Terry.
people negotiate that, which I think they do, but anyway, so they wanted to talk about that changing the handbook
I
to,
figured he'd school, I mean, he's taking.
so right now you don't get any time for the first year, and that's not really,
I don't
for professional.
We gotta get another park meeting too, or else, we gotta reach out to Peter
Okay.
and get a parks meeting, because I just wanted to pass on, you know, talking with Conklin and the neighbor, I forget that guy's name at 35.
Westfall,
What's his first name? Do you remember his first name?
Mr.
Jerry? Anyways, you know, they were definitely,
2 weeks.
do not want pickleball. They were bringing up the noise issue. It's a valid point. Pickleball does make noise. There is noise associated with pickleball. So I went over and I looked and I did see that, oh, well, yeah, this tennis court is really pretty close to their property. So when I was standing there looking at the whole park, and I don't know what to do. I need some guidance from everybody else too. Like when somebody has a concern like this, do we? We're not on camera anymore, right?
I don't,
Okay.
this is.
Turn it off, right?
I think between the clerk, the treasurer, and the
I
public,
don't,
Well, I don't know.
should be